I tell my staff all the time, we're not in the clothing business. If you think we're in the clothing business, you're in the wrong job. We're in the people business.
Because they had a great experience the one time they walked in, even if they couldn't afford it then. That's amazing.
They see the benefit of a specialty store compared to a department store, a chain store. They don't operate that way.
This episode of Main Street Matters is brought to you by Wood Underwear, Marchesi Ginfrati Neckwear, and Inspiro Tequila. I'm your host, Terresa Zimmerman. Welcome. I am excited to be here today with Frank Ventresca, owner of Ventresca Limited in historic Doylestown, Pennsylvania. Welcome, Frank.
Good morning, Teresa. Nice to be here with you.
Thank you for joining us. This is awesome. We're going to dive right in, and I want to hear about Ventresca Limited. Can you tell us about your store?
We are in our 43rd year and our third location, have expanded from 1981 in a small store. We're there 7 years and then went down the street into a larger store, added different services and people, personnel, increased the size of the operation and diversification of our inventory. And that was in Jenkintown, Pennsylvania, and we were there totally 25 years. In this location, we moved here in the fall. Actually, August 1st was a Monday. Was the first day here in in 2006. 2006 was August 1st, and we it's now 18 years we've been here. So altogether 43 years, and I blinked an eye and it went by that fast. It's crazy.
Yeah. Why the move from Jenkintown to Doylestown?
Demographics. The demographics in Jenkintown were magnificent up until, I'd say, the late 90s. A lot of wealth, close to the city. I was a half an hour from my store to Center City. So the drawing, I drew from a big area, and it was nice. The money in the area was substantial in a great perimeter. So it gave me an opportunity to build a business, and then all of a sudden, the demographics started to change. People our age who grew up there, they were not, as they were settling down, getting married, starting careers, they were not moving there. Their parents were still there, but they were moving elsewhere. And that elsewhere was all through the Delaware Valley. So my business was growing, but all of a sudden, little by little, you started to see the types of businesses, the quantity of businesses, restaurants in our area changing. With that, so all of a sudden, normal conditions, it's 2003 to 2005, and our retail numbers and sales plateaued. And at that time, Doylestown, where I am now, I was born and raised, and the demographics here were changing. The quantity of new building, there was farmland out here, there was open space, and people were building homes. People were putting additions on home. The borough, there's two districts, the Doylestown Borough and Doylestown Township. Doylestown Borough became red hot, business-wise and desirability for people to own homes in the borough and then out in the township as well. So from here, we relocated, and at this time, we're doing all-time high business post-pandemic consistently for 3 years, and had a huge increase post-pandemic, like a lot of independents. And the demographics are very solid, and the growth, stability in our area is, I would say, very secure. We have a hospital. Doylestown Hospital is no more than a quarter mile down the street. Delaware Valley University, 3/4 of a mile down the street. The county seat, Doylestown Courthouse is 5 blocks, walk out my front door, turn left, 5 blocks away is the county seat, is the courthouse. So, you have attorneys, you have doctors, you have professors, you have a lot of professional people. We're a suburb of Philadelphia, and we're a semi-suburb of New York. So the
Mhm.
demographics here are very good, and there is, at this point, unless a big catastrophe occurs, we are very rock solid in the stability of the demographics with only one way to go, and that's up.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I've been to Doylestown, and it is a beautiful town too. That main street that you've got there is just gorgeous and vibrant, and I don't think I've been on it when it hasn't been packed with people.
Yeah, it gets, I'd say 3/4 of the year, all the restaurants, they have outside dining out on the porches. Matter of fact, 1 week a month from the spring all through the early fall, they'll close a couple of the streets on State Street and Main Street for about 3 blocks in both directions, and they'll close the streets, and all the restaurants will roll out and put tables in the streets along and leave the sidewalks open, and it's flooded with people.
That's
So
great.
the people that, borough council and the political officials here in town are doing a great job
Cool.
intelligently. So once a year, there's a bike race, there's a car show, there's an arts festival, there's a tree lighting ceremony, which is going to occur right after Thanksgiving, when Santa Claus comes to town and throws a switch, and there'll be crazy amount. There'll be 10,000 families that come into town, and the streets are closed right in the very center at the intersection of State Street and Main Street, and they have a huge Christmas tree, and it's loaded with families and little people that, wanna see Santa Claus. So if you think about, the people that come out for a tree lighting, the people that come out for a car show, the people that come out for arts festival,
Yeah,
9 times out of 10, they don't have the same interest. They so they're bringing different groups of people through the town half a dozen different times of the year, and, that one day, it may affect the foot traffic in the store. It may affect the sales of the store. But
sure.
as a whole, it's exposing the store continually to thousands and thousands of fresh eyes and people, and making an awareness of who we are and where we are.
Yeah, that exposure is great. And a courthouse is always great to have close by for clothing stores, right?
And it's huge, it's big. I mean, it's a large, facility, not just a little, a building. They have a farmer's market, from 7 a.m. to noontime on Saturdays all through the spring, where, loads up tons and tons of people that come in. So, I mean, they do a really beautiful job of bringing and exposing people, uh, and one sign of how a town is doing, how healthy it is vacancies. So
Yeah,
storefronts that are empty, for rent. When a storefront, if and when it goes empty, is filled very quickly,
yeah,
and it's filled with, good desirable businesses as compared to, a check cashing store or bail bondsman, or, something crazy where you go into different places and you see that, and you scratch your head and saying, "Wow,
yeah.
um, how
Well,
safe are we?"
not every town can fill their empty spaces with stuff like that. I mean, the easy move-ins, or the insurance office or the lawyer's office,
Right.
and
Plenty
that's
of
not what's
professional plenty of
mm,
professional offices,
yeah.
and plenty of residents. There's condos and apartments, so the town is
Oh,
very
cool. Living
walkable.
town. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then
Well, we're
here's here's a fact, okay? Doylestown has the longest continuous Memorial Day parade in the country.
Wow. Okay.
The Memorial
Uh,
Day
fun
the Doylestown Memorial Day Parade looks like something out of a Norman Rockwell Hometown USA movie. It's crazy.
That's
Beautiful.
exactly what Doylestown reminds me of. It comes straight out of Norman Rockwell. That's you hit the nail on the head there, when,
Yep.
trying to describe it. That's exactly it. We're if okay with you, I'm gonna stick the Chamber of Commerce, website in our show notes, and
Go
people
for it.
should go visit Doylestown. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so this is home for you, so you know all about it, but clearly you're involved in the community,
Yeah, we
to
do a lot, like any good business, being a part of the Chamber of Commerce and making donations and ads and contributing to the school district and, the homecoming and different events, the plays, and they need garments or tuxedos or different things to be used and worn. We do that all the time.
Mhm.
Attend auctions and events and anniversaries for different fundraisers. Yeah, we try to do as much. They have the Bucks Beautiful. Bucks Beautiful. They do a couple different events. They do once a year a charity. The Village Commercial Community, and the money goes to the Doylestown Hospital, and they'll take an old historic home somewhere, and they'll bring in a group of designers, and they'll paint it wallpaper, put lighting in, do different things, bring landscapers out and redo the outside, and take, something that's tired and bring
Yeah.
it back to life, and then
Wow.
have an open house for 30. They'll have a gala. Normally, they'll have a gala on a Friday night and then a Saturday kickoff, for 30 days where it's open to the public to come and see, and all the money raised goes to the Doylestown Hospital.
Wow, that's a serious event. That's
Yeah.
serious investment into the community too. I love it.
So we'll do and then what they'll do is they'll have, people that'll design a bedroom, and then they'll design a closet, and we'll put, some apparel in there and Ventresca bags and Ventresca hangers, and try and fill up the closet with different men's clothing on one side, and they'll do the same thing with, 1 or 2 of the ladies, um, shops that will do it on the other side in a walk-in closet. So, it gets exposure. Yeah, it's just things that we do, anymore we take for granted, but, um, there's 3 high schools, Central Bucks West, Central Bucks East, and Central Bucks South, and they have football teams, basketball teams, girls hockey, soccer, and they'll come through and ask for ads for the program book. The baseball team every year sells poinsettias, and we'll buy a couple dozen poinsettias from the boys' baseball team, and they'll deliver them the first weekend in December, and we'll put them in the front of the store, and when ladies come in for Christmas to buy for their family, for their husbands, for their better half, their son, we'll give them a poinsettia. So it's it makes the lady feel good, and you're handing out poinsettias to shoppers after we gift wrap their purchases, and at the same time, it helps the baseball team, and they always come in and says, "You're our best customer. You're our best buy we buy 24 poinsettias."
That's great. You'll have to keep that up. They're gonna count on you now.
I
Um,
told them to keep it up. I'm interested in doing it every year. I said, "You guys
Good.
gotta always remember we're here."
Yeah, awesome. Well, tell us about the breadth of stuff you have in your store, because I know it's pretty wide ranging. I mean, because you've talked about courthouses to high school, so you're serving a pretty huge clientele.
Yeah, well, mean, like anybody else, diversification of product services is important today. If you're strictly selling men's suits, um, it's depending and I'm asked all the time, who's buying suits? Who's buying people ask me all the time, uh, it's asked the same question, like, "How's your business?" And they're waiting for me to say, "Oh, it's in the toilet, we're doing horrible," which it's just the opposite. It's never been better, it's never been healthier, it's never been more diversified, um, because of, uh, there's no independence left. I mean, if you go to a mall, and there's 6 malls in the Philadelphia region that are 50% empty. The King of Prussia Mall, which is 50 minutes from us, is a, very profitable, large mall and one of the top 200 performing malls in the country. Now there's a Neiman Marcus, a Nordstrom's, there's a Bloomingdale's, there's different, high brands, male, female, apparel stores, as well as all the mall stores. But if you think about those stores, they're open from 10 a.m. to 9 o'clock Monday through Saturday. They're open from 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock on Sunday. They're open holidays. So if you have a group of people anymore who don't want to work more than 3 days a week from 9 to 5 in an office, what kind of people are you getting to fill the position to fill those hours and those days? They could have the labels, they could have the diversification of the product, but the
Mhm.
customer service, the attention to
Right.
detail, the tailoring is not there. So
Mhm.
we're getting more and more people looking for the value for the money they're spending.
Right.
So hypothetically, if they want to buy a Canali suit, well, you could buy it in 3 different locations in the King of Prussia Mall, Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom's, Bloomingdale. You can find in all 3 stores. You could buy Eton shirts in those stores. But now all of a sudden, try and find someone who knows the product, who has customer service skills, and then on top of that, will turn around and alter the garment, instead of trying just to put it in a bag, a box, or whatever, and get it out the door.
Mhm.
So, we're not trying to cut corners with tailoring. I have 6 tailors in my tailor shop, and they stay busy all the time. We
Yeah.
sell a lot of sleeve units, suits, sport coats, tuxedos. We alter all the pants for length. We'll take in a waist if a guy's an athletic built, so he's got a big seat and thighs, and the waist needs to be taken in. That's standard. I mean, that's
Right.
what better specialty stores do, but in department stores, that's not the case anymore. They're not looking to do that. They're looking to get the customer in and out. So
Right.
the growth that we're experiencing and other, independent specialty store retailers, they're getting it. People want the value for the money they're spending, and then what happens is, being in business so long, we're doing business or did business with the grandfather, then the father, now the sons. You're seeing the next generation, as they come through. So merchandising the store with regular fit clothing is one thing, but how about slim fit? Slim fit shirts, suits, sport shirts. So having a Canali suit is nice, but it may not be as slim for the son as it is for the father. And then also what we'll do is have, an entry, a middle, and a premium tier in price point. So not everybody wants to walk in and spend $2,200 on a suit. Well, we'll have a $900 suit. We'll have a $1,500 suit. And then we'll have sport coats and pants to reflect that as well. So we have a starting point, which is a better price point, and our target market is luxury. We have a very stable demographic that we target market, and we're only men's. We're just men's clothing. We'll do ready to wear in clothing, which would be suits, sport coats, formal wear, tuxedos to purchase, and obviously the shirts and the accessories to go along with it. But then we'll do tons of sportswear, denim, casual, techno 5 pocket with a stretch pant, that we'll do, is key and important. We'll do tons of soft coats in a nice fabric, and then also do it in a luxury. We have, unconstructed cashmere sport coats in 4 different colors that, they feel wonderful. They have a soft touch. Soft always sells.
Yeah.
Um, so
I saw you talking about the cashmere, on your Instagram, video. That was, I wanted to
yeah.
touch it.
Yeah, yeah, and
Mhm.
then, well, cashmere sweaters and soft touch in a Brax jeans in the fall and winter do, a soft touch, which is
Yeah.
nice. It's not heavy, but it's a fall winter weight in a cotton. Um, we have denim. Brax has a new product for this fall where it has 3% cashmere, 3% lycra, which gives it the stretch. Then it has, 94% cotton. So it looks like a regular denim, but it has a little softer feel. We have that in 2 washes, and it's doing well. It's a seasonal product from Brax.
I haven't seen that in person yet. I'm gonna look out for that. Those guys do some crazy cool things with fabric.
Yeah, and then they're doing a concept for spring where it's cotton and silk. So it has a denim weight, but it's a lightweight denim weight, and it has a little nicer hand, but they're doing it in silk. So they're doing the cashmere, cotton for fall, and then the silk cotton for spring, which gives a little different touch and feel, but it has the same silhouette that we do in Brax, in their perennial product.
Yeah. I mean, I can talk about fabric and, components of fabrics all day long. Do your customers care about this? Do they wanna hear these stories? Do you impart these stories to them?
Teresa, it's very simple. They want what feels good and fits good. So if you turn around and show them something new, whether it's the high flex, the stretch, the knit in Brax, and you tell them to put they when they put it on, and they "Oh, this feels great," because
Yeah.
it moves in every direction. And if you think about people, if they're on an airplane, they're in a car for 2 hours, they're packing and they're gonna do a presentation for business, and they don't wanna load up a suitcase. They might need a suit, or an outfit that requires a tie, but they may need a jacket and more casual, like what I'm doing right now, an open shirt with colored buttons on it, and they're doing a speaking engagement or a cocktail party or a presentation to a group of people in a business meeting. So they may travel with that look, get to where they're going, having to wear a suit to do a presentation, or suit on without a tie, with just
Yeah.
a shirt that's intended to look like, um, you didn't forget your tie or you didn't forget to
Right.
finish getting dressed. It's put together to look like it's a business casual, uh,
Yeah.
very important anymore, and then the footwear to go with it. So our footwear, department is very broad. Our denim selection is broad, our sport shirts, knitwear, sweaters, and now at this time of year, outerwear. So
Well,
diversification is
yeah.
is key.
Well, and it sounds like, they're counting on your expertise to really put them together. So they know you're the expert. they come in and they know that when they walk out, they've got their outfit picked and they have total confidence in what that is, what they're doing with it, where they're going with it.
Correct. The key is being in business so long, and we're not a mom and pop store anymore. I mean, we're, a specialty retailer with
Yeah.
different categories, different areas of the store. We do a lot of custom made clothing. We have a tuxedo rental department, which is huge. And we do some serious amount of units out of that. But they have their own counter for payment. They have their own dressing rooms. They have their own personnel. So no matter how busy the store is, not everybody's on top of each other. Having experienced, talented people, number one, genuine interest to take care of people instead of just making a sale makes all the difference in the world. People that have a desire for an occupation versus a job. Okay. My belief is as an employer, we gotta stay innovative. It's important, because retailer, we have Wednesday and Thursday, we're open till 8 o'clock. But Monday, Tuesday, Friday, we're here till 5:30. Saturday, 5 o'clock. We're never open on a Sunday. We're never open on holidays. Um, and if the store's properly staffed, you can have a rotation, giving people, um, a weekend off once every 5 weeks. You go through the process. Now, there's times of the year where we're, people are on rotation of vacations. Um, they they work a 5-day week. They get 1 day off. But if you can get a bonus and people can get a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, um,
Mhm.
it's important. As an
Yeah.
employer, we provide a 401(k), paid vacation, medical
Nice.
coverage.
Nice.
Eh, I believe in paying people. I believe in, the salespeople, the tailors, um, shouldn't be out looking for, where can I make more money? They should be
Right.
concentrating on how can I learn more so that I can provide more information and have a bigger impact and be more important to the customers we're working with.
Yeah.
In case of an illness or something happening and we're short staffed, a person on a day, the staff is well trained to pick up and not trip over themselves and make up
Right.
the difference instead of having, instead of having 8 people, 9 people on the floor, you might have 6 and 7 people, but it doesn't affect the
Get it done.
efficiency. You're getting it
Yeah.
done.
Talk to me a little bit about challenges. All of what you talked about sounds amazing and wonderful. And we know there's challenges in retail and, we all go through them. What would you say is kind of your biggest day to day challenge?
There's 2 glaring, outstanding challenges that exist today. One is on the vendor side. The customer service, sometimes you're buying product, you're in the market. When I see you in Chicago or I see you at the Philadelphia show or in New York, we're in showrooms and we're doing shows and we're buying product 6 to 8 months out, is the way our business works. Well, you're supposed to get a delivery September 1 for the fall. You're supposed to get delivery November for holiday. You're supposed to get delivery February 1 and be complete by March 1 for spring. And then all of a sudden, you get into the season and they're 10 days, 15, 20 days late, and they want you to take the goods, and you're saying, "Wait a minute, time out." You didn't even ship yet and you're 20 days late. By the time I get it, you're 30 days late. If you want me to take this product, you better do 2 things. Number 1, I better be getting a discount because the time window that it's gonna go to sale has now been shortened substantially. And if it's a seasonal item, say it's shorts, say it's, sandals, say it's outerwear, say it's sweaters, it's not like you're carrying it over. You can't carry it over. You gotta move it out. So we're experiencing that, and the manufacturers need to get better. Some are great, and some are just consistently late. And so now, uh, it makes a decision where when I go into the market come this season, starting at the end of December and all through January and February, I have a couple vendors that are earmarked to be replaced because there was fallout. You order, say you order 10 SKUs and it's outerwear, and it works between cloth and techno, between three-quarter length and waist length. It's at different colors, different weights, and different price points. Um, and you put together a collection, and now all of a sudden, these 2 SKUs dropped out, these 2 SKUs shipped late, and now all of a sudden your sell-throughs are affected, and you're
Well, if the entire
um
outfit that you merchandised in your plans isn't
correct.
now an entire outfit,
Your
right?
merchandising is off. Your presentation coming out of the gate for the season is off on how you wanted. We got 6 windows. So
Yeah.
we'll do, and then we have showroom is 5,000 square feet. So we'll trim the inside of the store and we'll trim the windows every 3 weeks. And we don't just do signage like the chain stores or the department stores put signage, or a banner in the window. We'll put mannequins with clothing, shoes, the whole, outerwear depending on the season, in the window. So we'll do different looks to represent the
Yeah.
diversification of what we do here in the store, and you change it every 3 weeks, and, you can run the store like a little mom and pop store, or you can run the store as a professional operation that's serious about taking care of people.
Yeah, and those windows are important, they make a difference. I mean, I've watched men walk in stores, yours and a couple of others that I've been to in the last couple of years, and the gentleman will walk up to somebody and say, "I want that outfit in that window right there." It's not just a banner in a window, it is actually what you're selling and what they can get right there and then, right?
Right, and inside the stores also, the displays,
Mm,
we have,
yeah,
so you have the windows, and then we'll have 10 displays inside the store between mannequins and or Henry hangers, which are, drapes, that is everything but shoes on a hanging, display hanger with a full shoulder and a waist on it so that can hang up against the wall, and
yeah,
it looks professional, not mom and pop. If you're gonna
yeah.
sell, expensive clothing, it needs to look real. It needs to, well, the person has to see themselves and say, just like you mentioned, "I want that. Can I
Yeah.
try that on?"
Absolutely, yeah. Well, people may not know, but there are professionals out there that you can hire out too, so that's just an important point to note. But you mentioned there were 2 challenges. The vendors were one. What's the second one?
People. People
Oh,
inside
yeah,
the store,
yeah,
taking hiring personnel. Stores will load up on part-time, and that's good, but part-time normally don't last. Um, our part-time people are cashiers,
yeah,
which is a little different because, they need to run the register, they need to know the store, policies and the, cadence, of the store, and how to help people answer the telephone, how to run a gift card, how to get payment, all the different things that need to be done, how to write a ticket and put it on the garment after it's sold, how to gather information for a follow-up that we need to order if it's a Saturday and we need something and we didn't have it, or they wanted to see about another color from a manufacturer, and we gotta follow up and do that on Monday. You know, the people behind the counter will do that, so it frees up the salespeople to stay on the floor to work with people and to have full-time personnel who are knowledgeable, who have good customer service skills, who make a good presentation, whether it's male or female salespeople, and try to have good quality people that have long tenure and not a turnover. So many stores, especially the department stores, the chain stores, have a lot of turnover. Well,
Uh-huh.
when you have a repeat loyal customer, they like to have a salesperson. They like
Mm.
to have someone that they know they can pick up
Yep.
the phone and say, "Teresa, I'm coming in on Saturday. What time is best?" And the person will say, "Well, I have an appointment at 10. How about 9 or 11 o'clock? I can work with you." And they know that Tuesday is Teresa's day off, and Monday is Jennifer's day, and Wednesday is Lisa's day, and
It's
so and
true, they all
so.
know. Yeah. Your
So
clients
what
know.
Yeah, and and then when a new person comes in, they hand them a business card after they're done, and they say, "Here's my card, feel free to call me. Wednesday is my day off, but
Mhm.
otherwise I'm here unless it's an emergency all the
Yeah.
time. And call me, let me know what's good. I'd like to work with you going forward." And so now all of a sudden they develop a rapport. It's professional, and it's the way it should be done, and it builds repeat business with loyalty.
Yeah. Well, where have you had best luck finding people?
Sometimes it's word of mouth. Well, before, it's funny how it's changed. Being in business for over 4 decades, you see the differences now, just like our culture in
Yeah.
society, okay? The differences. Um, I used to, at least once a month, someone would walk in the store and say, "I'm a tailor, are you hiring?
Mhm.
I'm a salesperson, I'm looking for a position, are you hiring?" It used to happen all the time. I used to post on ZipRecruiter and Indeed and things like that. Sometimes you get lucky. Now we're using actual employee recruiters.
Yeah,
We're
okay,
using recruiters,
yep, yep,
where their job is to go out and find people, give you
mhm.
qualified candidates, and then you interview those candidates and make a decision on what direction you're going in. The changes today and the changes that we've seen since the pandemic, um, UPS runs a little slower, customs runs a little slower, things getting out of a warehouse run a little slower.
Yeah.
Mm, Things coming from Europe are running a little slower.
Mhm.
It's just uh, being in business and seeing, you call up customer service or you go online. I got people working in the store who every Monday, every Tuesday, they're filling in on perennial goods, dress shirts, denim, blazers, solid suits, whatever the item is, they're filling in. It's funny to see my people when we need something and getting them trained to think outside the box. So, getting people to understand, okay, yeah, here's the standard protocol. Here's what we do when we're filling in. But when there's a need, a rush, or we need to fulfill a customer's want, we need an extra step that we have to go through, and getting people to understand, hey, you got to take that extra step. It's not an option, it's a
Right.
necessity.
Right. Well, and as much as you guys care for your clients, your vendors, your sales reps wanna care for you, hopefully, at least the ones you wanna work with. So, use taking that power of the relationship all the way through your own supply chain, that is a good lesson.
Yeah, I mean, you're a prime example,
Technology
okay?
doesn't care, right?
Yeah,
Technology.
you're a prime example, wood underwear, all right? So, yeah, it's underwear,
Yeah.
okay? But if I have a half a dozen size larges in a particular color, and a customer comes in and buys them, and now I have another customer who's saying, "I'm going to Europe for 2 weeks, and
Mhm.
I wanna buy, you know, 10 packs of underwear to turn around and take with me, and because I'm wearing, it's in the summertime and I'm wearing, a certain color,
Yeah.
I don't want black. Well,
Right.
there's a prime example where
Yeah.
all of a sudden, the guy's leaving Friday, today's Tuesday, I gotta have them for him to take
Yep.
and pack
Phone
and
call.
take with him.
Yep. That's a
So,
phone.
all right, and, it's something simple, it's
Mhm.
underwear, but if he's not buying it from me, he's gotta go to a department store or a chain store or someplace. He's not gonna go without, so somebody's gonna take care of him, and when you do that, they turn around and they don't think, "Okay, well, they're gonna disappoint me. Every time I give them something I need, they never come through," so now all of a sudden they start looking elsewhere, and all of a sudden gain experience elsewhere. And now all of a sudden starting a relationship elsewhere, and all of a sudden you lose the business. You're not important anymore because that relationship went elsewhere.
Yeah. No, I mean, taking care of the whole person, whether you stock it or not. I agree. And that is important to impart to your people. Probably some hard lessons for them to learn on that, in the early days of training them, though, I would guess.
I tell my staff all the time, we're not in the clothing business. If you think we're in the clothing business, you're in the wrong job. We're in the people business. Our job's to take care of people. If you take care of people, everything takes care of itself. That's what we do anymore. And that's why men's specialty stores throughout the country are thriving because the ones that get it, the ones that have been in business, the ones that provide the customer service, the tailoring, the attention to detail, the product knowledge, who have the consistency to take care of people, people want the value for the money they're spending.
Yeah.
And, they're given a gift, or they're buying something for their dad, for their husband, for their son, for their significant other. If they don't, if they're just buying a gift and they're looking to save money, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but if you go to Macy's, you go to Target, and you're gonna buy a sweater at $29 and you're gonna throw it in the bag and you're gonna give it to them, and that's fine. But all of
Mhm.
a sudden, if you want a made in Italy sweater, or you want, a soft touch, you want something that looks nice, that's very recognizable of not being run of the mill, you're
Yep.
coming to a specialty store. That's why
Yeah.
they're coming to stores like this. Someone's gonna show them, and what happens is Teresa walks in, and if the salespeople know her, it's one thing. If they don't, the first question is, the person you're buying it for, does he shop here?
Yeah.
And if they say yes, they says, "Okay, what's his name?" And either they know him personally, if not, they can go into the computer and check the sizes. They can
Yeah.
see what size coat he is, what size shirt, pant. And so instead of just selling something, they can pull out his size and show it. So the probability of a return goes way down. The possibility of a wow goes way up because
Yeah.
now
No.
not only did they get something in a store where they regularly shop, or it's a better item than they anticipated, um, but also it fits.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
fits,
Yeah.
and so you put those things into consideration. The store's healthy because it doesn't get returns. Okay. After Christmas, 50% of the products that are bought in department stores are returned. Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's
people are
wild.
taking
Wild.
stuff back all the time because mainstream, the thought process of just buy, look at the people that buy online and give it as a gift.
Mhm.
I mean, the quantity of returns online has shot up post
It's
COVID. Because people
astounding.
used to buy for themselves, and COVID just threw it to the forefront where they
Mm.
made laziness where, well, for any given time, people didn't wanna go into public. They didn't wanna go into the store. They didn't wanna go into a restaurant. They didn't wanna fly in an airplane. They didn't wanna work, side by side with people in an office or a
Yeah.
business. They wanted to work remotely. I mean, the thought process changed a lot of people, and the quantity of online sales escalated. So if the quantity of online sales escalated, the returns escalate
Yeah.
because they're not having an opportunity to try it on, see how it
You don't
fits,
understand.
if it's a classic fit, a tailored fit, or a slim fit. In our store, we have manufacturers that have different fits. If it's
Yeah.
European, if it's a slim fit, it's different than a classic fit. You gotta know your people. You gotta be able to talk to people. You gotta be able to ask questions, and you gotta know your inventory. So if you wanna make a sale, that's great, but if you wanna develop a customer, you're doing a good job. You develop a customer and you show genuine care and you made the sale, it's a win-win. The customer's happy.
Lasting too. You've already said it's generational,
Right.
multi-generational.
And the
What a
salespeople on the business side, the salespeople get a salary plus a commission. So
Mhm.
if they're only thinking about getting the commission, they're doing the wrong thing,
Yeah.
So I like to overcompensate people in every category so that money is not an issue. There's an incentive for them to make more money, but
Yeah.
meanwhile, um, you know, if they're not self-motivated and because you're paying them, they're not doing anything, well, you got the wrong person. They gotta get out. So if they have a team mentality, if they work collectively together, whether we're receiving merchandise, putting it out, ticketing it, um, getting prepared and ready for a window trim, a store display, someone's working with a customer and someone's not doing anything, and they came in, they're buying a suit of clothes and they didn't bring in a pair of shoes, they got sneaks on, which happens all the times anymore. Someone saying, you're asking, "Okay, what size shoe are you?" I'm gonna get a dress shoe, so we have the correct heel for the fitting on the length of the trouser. And the guy says size 10, and one of the coworkers says, "I got it," because we 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 really emphasize stay with your customer. Don't leave them. Another staff member will go get the shoe, will go get another item that's out of the area that they're working in. So that way they really get a one-on-one. They really get personalized service. They see the benefit of a specialty store compared to a department store, a chain store. They don't operate that way.
And your staff also feel like they're part of a team when they can work together like that too and be
That's
supported like
exactly
yeah.
because one time they're running to get the item, and the next time it's someone else. They're working with the customer and someone else is doing it. If you have a thought process that we're here together and we're all doing this and we don't have a cutthroat floor. We don't have a cutthroat stab you in the back. Oh, that's my sale. Oh, I should have I was busy selling a tie and you got the guy buying $3,000 worth of clothing. It works out, okay?
Yeah.
If the store's healthy, if the owner and management are doing their job, making sure there's traffic in that store, there's product in that store, and the store is properly staffed, it's a win-win. It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
win-win. The object is the store should not be making money and the people going hungry, the customers feeling like they're not fulfilled. That's wrong. If the
Yeah.
customer comes in the store and they buy whatever they're looking for, and when they're leaving, they paid you, and they're leaving and saying, "Thank you very much. You did a great job. I appreciate it," and they leave. I tell my staff all the time, "You can't get better than that." They're
Yeah, that's
they
amazing.
spent money in our store,
And
and now
thanked
they're
you.
thanking us for
Yeah.
helping them,
Yeah.
okay?
That
So, the store did business, The customer got what they were looking for. The salesperson, is getting their commission over and above everything else. It's a win-win. It's a
And
healthy
gratitude to the customer. Yeah.
it's a healthy circle, okay? The customer's being taken care of, the salesperson's getting, fulfilled, and the store's getting fulfilled. It's a
That's
healthy
awesome.
environment. It keeps perpetuating itself.
Well, Frank, we're running out of time, and I know you've got a store to open, but I do have 2 more questions for you that I ask
Go.
everybody. So the first one is, if you're looking at the future and you can pick the timeline 2, 3, 5, 10 years out, what are you kinda seeing and how are you preparing for that?
I had a team of people that worked with me from 20 to 32 years, and
Wow.
they all they all retired. They
Oh
didn't
my
leave
gosh.
me, they retired. They
Wow.
aged out and they said,
Wow.
"We're gone." That was an
Yeah.
awakening. Now it happened over a 3-year period. It wasn't one weekend, all of a sudden everybody's gone.
Oh my god.
Everyone told me. I mean, my I had a tailor who was 80 and retired, a tailor who was 75 and retired. I had salespeople when they hit 65, 67, and they retired. So that's what they wanted to do, and we bring in new talented people to replace them, and I shouldn't say we'll never replace them. That's the wrong, description. We brought new people in to work in the store because I'm talking about I had 6 people that helped me grow my business.
Yeah.
When they're with you, I'm in business 43 years, and you got people that were with you
Special.
20 to 32. um you don't that's something. And now I
Yeah.
got a new group of people who some have 10 years, some have 5, some have 2, some have 1 year. But
Okay.
right now we're in a cohesive, um, position. So to answer your question, going forward, uh, building the team again, keeping it intact, and at the same time, um, having I've always been very sensitive in not developing a pop-up store because
Yeah.
the ownership or management is getting older. I got people on the floor that are in their 20s. I got people on the floor in their 40s. I got people
Yeah.
on the floor in their 50s and in their 60s. So what happens is having a diversification shows experience and shows freshness. You can wait on younger people, middle age, and when I say elderly, people 70 and 80 years old, and having people that have the talent, have the confidence if they're in their 20s to work with an 80-year-old, and the 80-year-old has the confidence that this person knows what they're looking for and has the ability to help them as compared to just making a sale. That's very, very important. So,
Yeah.
having that execution is important. Having that confidence in your sale and your, customers is important. And then, having the merchandise. You're not gonna put slim fit clothing on an elderly man unless he wants to buy it.
Right.
Having trendy clothing on people and knowing what label fits what way, what product to show, and not embarrass yourself, but help people. That's very important. So the store gets more experience, doesn't grow old. That's how
Yeah.
I look at it. So you're
Yeah.
transcending time, and you look appropriate in that time. You don't look like a store from 40 years ago. You don't look
Mm.
like an old person's store. You look like a store, that's important. And keeping youth coming in the store on the clientele side is important because what happens, I've seen stores from 30, 40 years ago that the personnel on the floor were old, the ownership was old, the merchandising was mature. I won't say old. What
Yeah.
happened is so young people didn't feel comfortable in that environment. The setting
Yeah.
was the same setting from 40 years earlier, and
Mhm.
they felt like they were in their pop they're in their dad or their grandfather's store.
Yeah.
Having a tuxedo rental business like we do brings high school kids in for proms, brings grooms and the people in the wedding party in for weddings. So, um, it constantly exposes the rest of the store, and we gain a lot of retail sales by people that come in, and they may say, "Boy, this store's too expensive, I can't afford it." But one day when I have I have the money, I'm gonna come in and shop in this store. And sure enough, we've seen it over the decades. He's in a position to shop in the store, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it not only in families from generation to generation, with people that we've taken care of, and they said, "The first time I was introduced to your store, I got my prom rental here." And now all of a sudden, they're in their 40s and 50s, and they're shopping in the store and they're buying thousands of dollars of clothing for business and pleasure.
Yep,
It
because they
it
had a great experience the one time they walked in, even if they couldn't afford it then. That's amazing.
right. Treat
Yeah,
people the way
yeah,
you wanna be treated.
yeah.
If you take care of people, everything takes care of itself.
That's a worthy focus. I don't care, how far out your timeline is, focusing on your people and keeping things fresh. That's fabulous. My last question, why does Main Street matter?
Main Street matters anymore because of the disconnect. We've been talking about it all through. I mean, people, when you deal with independence and you take the day, American Express, I think it was about 15 or 20 years ago, started when there was a financial crisis. Matter of fact, it was 15 years ago, when '08 to 10 occurred, when the financial collapse in Wall Street and the banks failed, and then all of a sudden, everything collapsed in '06 to I mean, excuse me, from '08 to 10. Um,
Okay.
so you have, Black Friday, which a lot of stores do business on Black Friday, but, um it's funny where a lot of department stores or malls, people think and that's where mainstream America shops is in those stores. But, the better consumer shops in specialty stores. And
Mhm.
American Express started Shop Small Saturday.
Love
So
it.
all of a sudden, from Black Friday weekend, which we would always do business. I work hard in making sure we were important. And, like anywhere else, there's an a cadence of retail, and whether you're in restaurants or in any business, whether you're in accounting, in the first quarter is tax season, so you could be oblivious to it, but the reality is these are going to occur and you have to staff for it. So
Mhm.
when you turn around and you get to Black Friday, you should be busy doing business. Everybody goes on sale that week, and if you're on sale and you're meaningful, and you're gonna have value, you're gonna be important to your customer base. And there is always a regular price customer, there's always a sale customer, and then there's a crossover customer, a customer that
Mhm.
will buy regular price, but will always dip their toe in the sale to get extra value.
Sure.
And then
Yeah.
over and above, we give our customers free alteration at 25% off. So, we're not charging them for alteration as an extra incentive to come shop with us compared to a department store.
Sure. Nice.
So, yeah, giving people the reason to come see you. If your selection is good, your personnel is good, your customer service is good, your product knowledge is good, and your tailoring is good. you're consistent, you're doing it every year, every season, and you're showing it, there's a reason for people to come see you.
Thank you so much, Frank. Appreciate your
You're
time
welcome,
today.
Teresa. I appreciate this opportunity. I wish you a great holiday season and continued success, and I'll see you soon in the market.
You will. Thank you. You have a great day. Thank you for tuning in to Main Street Matters. I hope you found today's episode insightful and inspiring. I'd love it if you would share Main Street Matters with fellow retail owners or anyone else who loves Main Street. And please subscribe so you know when the next episode drops.